What if you get a second life? What would you change about yourself? Hello, my name is Olivia, and I want to tell you about what I did in mine. My second life story started in a hospital, where I was lying on a bed with my eyes closed. At that point, I didn't even know I was in a hospital, but I was lying there and could hear someone saying, "Olivia, Olivia." I was dazzled by the bright light and totally didn't know what was going on. As soon as I opened my eyes, I saw this guy leaning towards me and trying to kiss me. I screamed my head off and the guy jumped back. I got a look at him and saw that he was highly attractive. He was wearing fashionable clothes and had a really cool hairstyle, but still, I didn't want some strange guy kissing me. The guy grabbed my hand and said, "Olivia, it's me, Justin," but I totally didn't know who he was. And I started screaming again. Just then, someone came running into the room. It was a man wearing a neat white coat. After a moment, I realized he was a doctor. This doctor told me the most shocking news. "Olivia, you've been in a car accident and have lost your memory. You hit your head really hard. Tell me, how are you feeling?" The doctor kept asking me questions, then told me that the hot guy was actually my boyfriend. I just couldn't believe it, because I didn't recognize him at all. And even when he showed me some photographs of us together, I didn't want him to kiss me. It just didn't feel right. The doctor told me that it was hard to say if I'd get my memory back or not. I started crying when some more people came into the room because I didn't know who they were. They were looking at me, and I knew they must be familiar, but I just didn't have a clue who the heck they were. The doctor told me that they were my family. A few days later, my memory had started to come back a little, and I remembered who my family were. While my memory was still poor, I didn't have any other injuries, so I was allowed to go home. What happened next is worse than the accident itself. I got home and memories started coming back. It was then that I found out who I really was. A bad person. I checked my social media accounts and went through some of my recent texts, and I was shocked at what I discovered. I was a bully, and all I found were mean things. There was a message from a girl in my class called Klara. She had only 5 likes in her profile picture, and I could tell she was unpopular. She asked me to help her promote a charity event for the animal rescue center she volunteered at. Her message said, "I know we aren't really good friends, but you're so popular that if you go to the event, lots of other people will come too." When I read the message, I felt sure that I would have agreed to her request. But instead, when I read my reply, I burst into tears. My reply was, "No, thanks, Klara. That sounds like the perfect event for boring, ugly people like you. But cool, beautiful people like me would never go to a dumb charity event." I was horrified by the revelation and started crying even more. My little sister came into my room. I expected her to ask me what was wrong, but she just stared at me. Eventually, she asked, "What's up with you?" I told her about the revelation, and she sounded really confused. "You seriously don't remember that, Olivia? You're mean to everyone." About a week ago, I was wearing my new shirt, and you told me it was the ugliest thing you ever saw. That's harsh, you know. You even pushed me into the pool. I couldn't believe how nasty it had been. I apologized to my sister, and she looked even more surprised. It was then that I decided I needed to become a better person. When I went back to school, the first thing I did was to break up with Justin. Every time he saw me, he tried to kiss me, which wasn't very considerate. He even said, "You're my girlfriend, so I can kiss you anytime I want." Justin wasn't the kind of guy I wanted to date. Well, maybe in the past when I was being like him. I was walking towards my classroom when I accidentally crashed into a girl in the stairs. The poor girl dropped a stack of papers, and I bent down to help her. The papers were adverts for a charity event at the animal rescue center. It was Klara. "Why are you helping me?" she whispered. "I'm really sorry. I was mean to you, Klara," I said. "The charity event looks fun. You can count on me for support." Just then, a girl who was passing by mockingly pushed Klara. She said her name was Betty and she was my best friend. And Klara looked so upset. Betty's behavior shocked me, and I told her that I don't want her to be my best friend anymore. After that, it took a while for people to trust me. They didn't buy it, but Klara was a lovely person and always defended my name. Everybody saw me helping her at the charity event, and that's when people started to trust me. I'm so grateful that I had a car accident and lost my memory. The accident opened my eyes to who I really was, and it was the turning point to make me change my ways.